Hello testers, today we are going to see two games from the 100 classical attacking games. So let's start. The first game is between Fischer and Benko. So this game started with e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, cd4, knight d4, queen b6. No, this is not the Scotch opening. A Scotch game starts with e5, but this starts with c5. This is the Sicilian. Knight b3, knight f6, knight c3, e6, bishop e2, bishop b4, pinning the king. Castle, castle, queen d3, bishop into c3, b into c3, d5, ed5, ed5, bishop f4, rook e8, rook a b1. Now this is under fire. Knight e5, queen d4, takes, b6, knight b5, knight g6, bishop e3, bishop a6, attacking the knight. Here knight c7 was not possible because bishop into e2 was just losing. Like it's a drawish endgame, but Fischer didn't want to go in that complications. Rook f1, rook e7, bishop f1. Now white gets his bishop back, knight e4, bishop d4, rook d8. Instead of rook b8, if white took bishop b5, then bishop b5, then knight f4 is one possible option, but then just f3 comes and it's still a little bit unclear after things like knight to d2, rook into e7, knight into b1. So this is one try, but after rook b d1, knight into bishop into b5, bishop into b5, rook c d7, rook e3, knight d6, bishop f1, knight f5, rook f3, attacking the f5 knight. Knight into d4, rook into d4, knight to e5. Now white wants to play something like rook f5, rook into d5, and black is trying to play knight knight to e5 and then f6. Yeah, like this is black's pawn, so that he could solidify this knight on e5 and then continue the action. Yeah, bishop d3, rook h3. This pawn, then black can play g6, then white advances, takes this, and the game continues. Rook e3, f6, as black's idea was in the game. f4, knight c6, attacking the rook goes back, king f8. g3, this is a tough game to hold, yeah, against Bobby Fischer. Why am I saying it's a tough game? You mean there are equal pawns on the board, but the problem is that black has an isolated pawn. Yeah, so white can target this d5 pawn is called an IQP, or an isolated queen's pawn. Here white can get a strategy like rook d3, bishop g2, yeah, then c4, putting tremendous pressure, but somehow he defended. Knight a5, rook d3, knight c4, bishop g2, as in the plan. Rook c5, rook into d5, black gives up a pawn. Rook into d5, rook into d5, bishop d5, knight e3, bishop e4. Now it looks like black had just did a blunder, but f5 comes in the way. Bishop d3, g6, c4. Though white is a pawn up, this is a draw. Yeah, and this knight may seem loose, but this d1, but when this d1 square is there, no problems to it. If not d1 square, then it is in problems. So okay, king f2, knight g4 check, king g2, king d6, h3, kicking the knight away, knight f6, king f3, h5. Good move, setting a bind here and never allowing g4 and things like that. c3, king c5, black advances on the inside. Bishop c2, white wants to give, like, white can't do anything, he has to give up a pawn. Like if black takes here, then there are some complications, to be fair, but here, yeah, the trick is that this is not that white is setting up a trap. If bishop b3 check, then the king goes to c3 or c5, bishop to f7, and these pawns are gone, these 3 pawns. That was the trap, but Benko is Benko. He doesn't fall in these booby traps. He plays knight e8, g4, fg4, fg4, king c4, gf5, gf5, bishop f5, knight d6. Now after a quick exchange of some pieces, this f5 bishop is attacked. Bishop e6 check, king into c3, king to g4, b5, king to g5, a5, king to f6, b4, bishop to b3 getting in the way of the pawns, but that doesn't accomplish anything. Knight e4 check, king e7, knight d3, king d6, knight h5, f5, knight g7, and here a draw was accepted by both players, because if you here play f6, then I can just give knight e8 check, king to e7, knight into f6, g into f6. Now black can just I think that black can do something like king b2, king e5, king a3, king d5, a4, bishop c4, b3, ab3, bishop c4, bishop b3, king b3, and it would be a draw. That's why after bishop b3 it's a draw because of insufficient material. That's why they agreed a draw after knight g7. Yeah. So now moving on to the next game. The next game is between Brian and Fisher. The game of the century. I have seen this game, like, I can say with the, I have seen this game tens of times, but I never bored in seeing this game. This is such a good game. Brian versus Fisher, 1956. This is the game of the century. Knight f3, knight f6. So let us get in Fisher's shoes, and well, you have to guess the move. When I say this game will bring lots of like tips to you in your chess career. This game is very instructive. Yeah. c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, d4, castle, bishop f4, d5, queen b3, d into c4, queen into c4, c6. Now the plan is b5 and things like that. Yeah, this b5, bishop e6 is also threatened. Now e4 was played. Now knight bd7, rook d1, knight b6, Queen to c5. Now this queen is getting tempos. Knight fd7 can be played, attacking the c5 queen. Now bishop to g4, bishop g5, and now here the game heats up. What will you play as black? Pause the video and think. The move is the amazing knight a4. What a move! You mean like can't say anything about this. You are just sacrificing a knight. That's a big material. Yeah, the knight is a knight. I mean, like, okay, so never mind. Knight a4. I'll give this a brilliant move because the idea of this move is that if you take on a4, the most obvious move, knight into e4 comes. Now black has captured the center. Now where can the white queen move? If it moves to, let's say, c2, then queen a5 check is enough to suffice. Queen a5 check. Then if you play knight to c3, then I have a surprise for you. Knight into c3. Wait a minute. I think that before taking, we take this bishop into f3, g into f3, knight into c3, queen into c3, and we have a surprise for our opponent. We take the g5 bishop, and he resigns. No, not now, not now. But this is very bad. I mean, -3 or 4. This is at least -3 or 4. Minus c4 -4.8, almost -5.7, 7.7. This engine is crazy at this position, man. Okay, so 5.7 is its last evaluation. So, well, that's the power of the knight a4 move. Queen a3, knight into c3, b into c3, knight into e4. Another brilliant move. Now, oops. Now the like idea of this move is that, well, you are getting the knight in the center, but at what cost? At the e7 pawn's cost. This e7 pawn can fork this if you take with the bishop. That's why it's a brilliant move. Now bishop into e7 was played in the game as every human does. Queen b6 and then bishop to c4. You will say, why didn't he take? Because he spotted that he is gone after this move. This is such a deep jungle where you have so many threats and traps that white can't even take here. Why? Quick, bishop into f8. Now after bishop into f8, queen to b3, we can play knight into c3. And now you can't take here because bishop b4 check is coming. Yeah. So that's why here queen into b6 was the only move, and then a into b6. Now white is literally lost. Why, you will say? He has this strong knight. This bishop is aiming at this diagonal and wants to come at b4. This bishop is pinning this knight. Yeah, like this. This rook is guarding down this file. These pawns are keeping safe the king. Yeah. And what are white pieces doing? Nothing. Yeah. So that's why this is a completely hopeless position. So bishop c4 was played. Knight into c3. Now let's turn off the engine and you have to guess the move now. Bishop to c5. Take a deep breath and pause the video and think what you can play. You did brilliant if you found the mind dazzling move, the move of the century. What is it? When Bobby Fischer played this, people were like, "What the?" I mean, because they saw the move. Bishop to e6 is one move here. Yeah, rook f8. Now white played king to f1, and now you have to find the move which is the move of the century. The move that signifies this as the game of the century. The move which is a mind dazzling move. It dazzled the commentators and the spectators. He played bishop to e6. What a move! I mean, if I could give this in two brilliant moves, I could, but only Leeches offers one brilliant move, so I can only give that. Oops. This is brilliant. If you see by the engine in after King F1, the evaluation was 3.4. Yeah, right, yes. And after that, the evaluation was 2.7 and garbage engine, get out of here. So, well, after bishop e6, the idea is that you want to sacrifice the queen so that you can meet the king. Well, just joking. The idea is that if you take the queen, which is the only good way, then bishop into c4 check, king e2, knight e2 check, and this intermediate checks win a lot of material. Like king to f1, knight into d4, king knight e2 here. You check here, then you take the bishop first, queen b4, then you play rook to a4, don't let it take the bishop also, then queen into b6, and then you take on d1. So well, actually you sacrificed the queen, then you gained let's go to the material count. So we sacrificed the queen. First we gained the bishop, so actually we were a pawn up from it. Yeah, when we played things like knight into c3, when he played he was a pawn up. So white was +8. Then we gained a bishop, so white was +5. Then we gained a pawn, white was +4. Then we checked here, and gained the bishop, white was +1. Then we checked that. Then we attacked, then white won a pawn, so white was +2. Then we took his rook, so we are +3. So black started sacrificing a queen, and he ended being +3. It's such material like a queen now. So rook a2, king h2, takes here, takes, check. White can't do anything. It's just a hopeless position. At this moment, if you take count, all of black's pieces are defended. This, yeah, this, and white. White has only 5 pieces. What will he defend in 5 pieces? Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, 4 pieces, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns. Black has 9 pieces, and also in account to take 1 king, 10 pieces. Okay. So now h4, h5, king knight e5, king g7, king g1, and now white falls victim to Fischer's mating threat. King f1, knight g3, king e1, bishop b4, king d1, bishop b3, king c1, knight e2, king b1, knight c3, king a1, rook c2. Such a brilliant mate. Yeah, such, and also a brilliant game. Brilliant move count. Okay, so brilliant moves were 1, 2, 3, 4 brilliant moves in this game. This game was literally nuts. So, well, going on. Today is the like anniversary of the Rotary Club. The Rotary Club is one of the biggest clubs in the world. Getting on to its 5 facts. The Rotary Club was founded in 1905 by Paul Harris. He was a lawyer, yeah, and with his 3 friends he founded the Rotary Club. It was named the Rotary Club because the club's meetings happened in all of the 3 friends offices, one by one. Like let's say there are friends like A, B, and C. So first the meeting happens in A, then B, and then C. So that is like that. So the second fact is that Rotary Club is famous for its commitment to end polio completely. Polio is a like disease which infects the toes and also the legs, and it is so bad that you can't even walk after you got it. So polio was very popular disease then. Yeah, but after 1998, the Rotary Club donated $2.1 billion, and also countless volunteer hours to eradically end polio. I mean, yeah. So the Rotary Club consists of 1.2 million members. Yeah, and well, it spans over 200 countries and regions, and has 35,000 clubs in it. So, well, good amount. And the fourth fact is that Rotary Club's motto is service above self. Here, actually Rotary Club was founded to like mix up business and one more to give humanitarian service to people. Yeah. The Rotary Club was well also is very good. Well, I won their chess tournament, no problem. So I have made this logo of them. Yeah, not that perfect, but still not that bad. So today is also Sant Baba Jayanti. Many yeah. So and in the Hindi calendar there is the Vinayak Chaturthi, because it's 3rd and 4th on the same day. It happens sometimes. So this was the game. I hope you liked it. For it to hit this comment bell icon. Thank you.